right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
A carjacking caught on camera.
So it's kind of shocking.
The daytime crime putting a community on high alert.
The end of September continues to sizzle. I'm tracking rain chances and when we'll see that heat and humidity finally fizzle.
Our top story, she was pulled over for a traffic violation and claims the police officer violated her privacy.
It was very embarrassing. I cried after.
Tonight, she's sharing her story only with 5 on Your Side. For the first time, we're hearing from a woman who filed a lawsuit against a former Florissant police officer accused of taking intimate photos from her phone during a traffic stop. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. The woman is coming forward just one day after a second lawsuit was made public, claiming the same officer took nude photos from a teenager. Tonight, she is recounting her traumatic experience only with 5 on Your Side's Megan Kernan.
Kelly and Mike, this happened back in February. The Florissant woman tells us 5 months later, she was contacted by the FBI. And 2 weeks ago, she and her husband filed a lawsuit. To protect her identity, we will only be calling her Jane Doe. Tonight, she's sharing her story with us.
I've been having a lot of anxiety attacks, so it's just been kind of hard to process fully everything with it happening in a short period of time.
In a matter of 5 months, everything changed. It started in February when Jane Doe was pulled over by the Florissant police officer on Howdershell Road.
He told me he needed to take my phone back to his vehicle to run my insurance. He had my phone for 10 minutes when I noticed my Bluetooth disconnected from my vehicle, and then he returned my phone and my ID and told me to have my significant other fix my back taillight. That's what I got pulled over.
She was alone, so she thought the mention of a significant other was odd, but didn't put too much thought into it.
It was like a red flag, but like at the time I was just like, okay, like I didn't get a ticket.
Months later, the FBI contacted her in July.
They knocked on my door when I was at work, and I had a full-on panic attack because I was like, why is the FBI looking for me? That's when they showed me my pictures, my nudes blown up on big pieces of paper, and that the officer took them from me during my traffic violation.
How violated did that make you feel?
Very. It's embarrassing. It's sickening.
Jane says she was told the officer scrolled through years of messages, viewing naked photos of both her and her husband, and potentially shared them with others.
It's an invasion of my privacy. I don't necessarily know where my pictures are. I don't know who has my pictures. I've had to get medicated because of all of the trauma that it's brought me.
Since filing the lawsuit,
there's been so many victims that have came forward, which I'm very glad. It's sad to see that this happened to them as well, but I'm glad to see that they're seeking justice.
Jane wants the department and the officer to be held accountable.
Justice is coming for him, and I hope that he can sit down and really think about all of the damage he's caused to me and these other victims as well, and how he has humiliated us.
Jane believes she was targeted because she's a young female and says there could be more victims out there. If you or someone you know feel like they might be a victim of this former officer, contact the FBI St. Louis Division at 314-589-2500. You can also watch the entire interview on KSDK.com.
Well, a hot day across St. Louis, and that heat may be sticking around for a while.
Weather Impact meteorologist Jim Castillo's in for Scott tonight. He's tracking the chance of spotty storms that may pop up as you head out the door tomorrow. Hey, Jim.
Yes, hey, so that's great because we need the rain. We're still in a drought. In fact, it's a severe drought from downtown St. Louis through most of the county now. And our high today was 92. It was hot, but the humidity stayed in check. It's 82 now. Can you believe it? Now the clouds will increase as we get into the overnight hours. And look at all the showers and storms to the west of us here. This is western Missouri, eastern Kansas, a cold front moving through. So when it moves our way, we'll expect some of this to develop during the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. So the early morning commute, look for some rain around and possible thunder. 71 in St. Louis, 60s outside of the city. And the weather headlines include another hot day tomorrow, more humid than it was today, scattered morning rain showers and thunder, but also a chance of an isolated storm in the afternoon. And then rain now more likely as we get into Saturday night and Sunday. I'll time that out coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Jim. Any moment now, the Francis Howell School Board is expected to discuss making a controversial policy update, and it's not sitting well with many in their community.
It includes allowing hate speech in educational materials. Brent Solomon has been sitting in that meeting for hours. He just stepped out of the meeting tonight to bring us an update, Brent.
Well, Kelly, Mike, let me break this down for you. Right now, the Francis Howell School District already has a plan in place. It bans educational materials with false science, hate speech, and false historical claims. Well, tonight there's a proposal to remove that ban, and the person who came up with that proposal said he believes that students should be exposed to, quote, a wide variety of viewpoints. Any moment now, this topic is expected to come up here at tonight's Board of Education meeting, which has been going on a couple of hours now. Concerned parents and teachers showing up to hear what school leaders have to say. The board told the crowd to trust educators to make the right decisions. But everyone who got up to speak during public comment seemed to question why the board may be moving in this direction.
And I think the racism and the transphobia that you guys are doing, it's awful.
If Missouri and the district want to continue to make headlines in all the wrong ways, I guess this revision makes sense, but otherwise it doesn't serve students.
Instead of problem solving together to overcome challenges like our fiscal cliff and teacher retention, we are entrenched in culture wars no one is winning. And because no kid can learn in a war zone, it's our children who lose the most.
One board member, Stephen Blair, said he's against making this change, saying he doesn't want students to be misinformed. This comes as Francis Howell has a new book ban in place. That ban is unchanged. It ensures that students are reading books with references that don't contain alcohol or drug use, sex, or ongoing profanity. Now, to tell you about the other side, another reason they say this proposal is on the table is due to guidance from legal counsel. We're going to continue to monitor this for you through the night. Look for updates on KSDK.com and on Today in St. Louis. We're live at the Francis Howell School Board. Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Police are reaching out to the community for help after 4 people were killed in just 24 hours. All of these shootings happened in North St. Louis. 2 people were killed in a quadruple shooting on Kensington last night. Another 2 were killed overnight on North Kings Highway. And this afternoon, shots were fired at police on Amherst Place. Police have not made any arrests in any of these cases. However, they say they do have leads on suspects in all 3.
We're getting information about this. We have witnesses. It means that people care and they want to make their community better. And we are going to stand right by them to help them make their community safer and better. And it takes a team effort.
If you have any information on these cases, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number, 866-371-TIPS.
Caught on camera, 3 young boys or guys carjack a man outside a popular rec center in Richmond Heights. And tonight, police are still looking for the trio. Robert Townsend joins us live from the Richmond Heights Police Department with more on the bold crime. Robert.
Well, Kelly, please tell us the armed carjacking was definitely a crime of opportunity outside the rec center. Now, it happened in broad daylight in a packed parking lot. The good news, the 72-year-old victim wasn't hurt. Richmond Heights police say security cameras first caught these 3 young guys inside the Heights Recreation Center around 6 Wednesday night.
We don't know if they were actually casing cars or if they were casing locker rooms inside the Heights to look for, keys or wallets left in unlocked lockers.
Police say when the guys, who are possibly late teens or in their early 20s, walked outside, one of them approached a 72-year-old man with a gun, wanting his cell phone, and that's not all.
The other 2 kind of positioned themselves to where he almost was like surrounded. And then the one approached him and asked for the phone. He complied with their demands, which that's what you should do, and he was able to get away with it.
The thieves got away with the driver's car, wallet, and took off down Dale Avenue towards South Hanley. Fortunately, the victim wasn't hurt. People who go to this rec center are now on alert.
That would make me feel nervous coming here, and it's kind of shocking that happened.
As of Thursday night, police were still looking for the carjacking suspects and the victim's car. It's a red 2020 Buick Encore, similar to this one, with Missouri license plate NJ9W5G. Meanwhile, police have safety reminders for drivers.
Just be very aware of your surroundings. Suggest keeping your car keys in your hand so you're ready to go. Don't leave items in your cars.
So I'm glad that he's okay.
Now, if you know anything about the carjacking, call the Richmond Heights Police Department. We're live in Richmond Heights. Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Tonight, we're learning Boeing employees in St. Louis have received furlough notices. Our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal report white-collar employees received the notices. Boeing officials didn't say how many employees would be affected or when the furloughs will begin. The furloughs come as the company tries to save money during a massive workers' strike. For a decade, the Millennium Hotel is sat empty in the shadows of the Arch. Now it's under contract. Yes, the Gateway Arch Park Foundation says it sees tremendous potential in the property, and they now own it. The foundation says it will work with the city and others on a redevelopment plan to connect it to the Gateway Arch National Park and the rest of downtown.
We are working to learn more about a massive fire that destroyed part of a Ladue mansion. The fire started just after 1:30 in the morning off Worston Road. Fire officials are still investigating what caused it. We still don't know if anyone was hurt or if anyone was at the home at the time. We'll continue to update this story as we learn more.
St. Louis native and rapper Nelly faces a lawsuit from his former group. 4 members of the St. Lunatics say they've been denied writing credit and royalties for songs on his debut album, Country Grammar. They claim Nelly promised they would be credited on the album, which sold more than 10 million copies. Nelly's legal team didn't comment on the lawsuit. Police, you'll remember, recently arrested Nelly for a failure to appear in court on traffic charges. Missing mail in the bi-state.
People need their mail, and they need it in a timely fashion.
The new demands in Washington to track down your letters and packages. A voting downgrade. The new call on the Show Me State to show computers the door and return to counting ballots by hand.
I think it's all political.
Tonight, the I-Team looks into the potential voting fallout.
More summer heat throughout the weekend. Then I'm tracking rain chances and how far those temperatures will fall for the first week of autumn.
Tonight, Missouri lawmakers are calling for an audit of the U.S. Postal Service Center in Hazelwood. Back in April, Senator Josh Hawley sent a letter to Postmaster General Louis DeJoy demanding answers about mail delays in rural areas across the Show Me State. Tonight, he tells 5 on Your Side he never received a response. Hawley is joined by 3 other Republicans calling for the audit, citing growing concerns about undelivered and lost mail.
The idea that you may have to wait weeks before your prescriptions would come, or your Social Security check, or you may have to wait weeks before you hear from a family member, that is not acceptable.
Late this afternoon, Illinois Congressman Mike Bost introduced a bill demanding improved accountability from the Postal Service after he says he received more than 250 complaints about delays and post office closures.
Well, tonight the I-Team exposes a proposal that could upend Missouri's election system. State Senator Denny Hoskins wants to stop using computers to tabulate votes and shift to hand-counting ballots, a move critics say could lead to chaos, delays, and errors. 5 on Your Side's Paula Fazan takes a closer look to uncover the facts and the risks.
Meet Kevin Arazik, a St. Louis resident who proudly wears his USA t-shirt, hopeful for the future. He's voted without concern for years.
We're in bad shape, so we have to get out and we have to vote and voice our opinions.
For Kevin, the process is quick, efficient, and most importantly, trustworthy. But under a new proposal by State Senator Denny Hoskins, people like Kevin fear their vote could be compromised.
I don't trust the election machines.
Distrust echoed by former President Trump.
Frankly, we did win this election.
Hoskins, a Republican candidate for Secretary of State, aims to ban computers used to tabulate votes and return to hand-counting paper ballots. He declined an on-camera interview, but emailed, "If I am elected, ensuring the security and integrity of our elections will be my top priority." Experts warn his plan could grind Missouri's elections to a halt. To find out more, we came here to the tabulation room at St. Louis County's Board of Elections. After you scan your vote, these machines then tally thousands of votes in seconds. The county's election directors say switching to hand counting would be at least 5 times more costly, take weeks instead of hours, and be less accurate.
I think it's all political to get elected to in a Republican primary.
Prior to voting machines, we did count all the ballots by hand, and it didn't go very well.
That changed in the 1950s when Missouri passed a law allowing the use of electronic tabulation. Election officials tell us the process has multiple safeguards. Computers are never connected to the internet.
It's all behind locked doors that only high-level Republicans and Democrats can get into together.
And we have to randomly select 5% of the precincts, count those by hand in bipartisan teams. Anytime there's a really close election, we recount 100% of those ballots.
After the 2020 election, a hand recount in the battleground state of Arizona confirmed machine accuracy. Political science professor David Kimball warns getting rid of electronic tabulators would be illogical.
It would be less reliable and more expensive and more time-consuming.
All bad outcomes, and the last thing voters like Kevin want.
I would prefer the same way that I've been doing it.
For the I-Team, Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra is back in Forest Park. The band performed their annual free concert earlier tonight. They played classical music as well as popular theme songs from movies. This concert marked the 56th year they've been putting on this show.
Well, that dog looked like he was really enjoying the concert. A great night for
did.
one, yes.
Yeah.
Weather and back meteorologist Jim Castillo. Are we going to have more nights like this coming up?
Well,
oh boy.
Next week we're cooler, and then yes, we'll see less in the way of clouds. But you know what? Over the weekend, a lot of clouds coming our way. Still have that waning gibbous moon. I'm doing a little scientist here. There it is. It's still there. Beautiful. You know, the clouds are increasing as we get into the overnight hours. And that weekend rain chance, yeah, it's becoming likely now Saturday night into Sunday. Even tomorrow morning, a lot of the models are trying to bring in some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. We can only hope, and then likely some good dry time in there also, not only Friday afternoon, and then a spot shower storm late in the day Friday, and then some dry time Saturday, and then Saturday night and Sunday. You get the idea. Watch for slick roads because it hasn't rained in a long time. And this is what one of the models that we always look at here for tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. So this could either pop up, you know, this isn't the exact location of where the development is expected, but we could see it anywhere around the region. So watch for that, maybe some rumbles of thunder, maybe a downpour, then dry time in there, and then a shower or storm again possible later in the evening hours. All right, the heat index about 100 tomorrow. So there you go. It's hot. It is humid. You'll feel that. And then on Saturday, lots of dry time, still hot, humid, about 90, and a better chance of rain to the west of us. But watch this future cast as we put it into motion later in the day, Friday evening, a spot shower or storm, but more likely Saturday night and into Sunday. So Sunday, rain at times, some thunder in there, and a strong storm can't be ruled out. Then we get into Monday. Here comes the front, 80 for the high, so we're starting to cool off. Look at Tuesday. There's one front going through the area. Drier air comes into play, a spot shower possible, but not likely. And then high pressure cools us down. And here's that 7-day forecast. 93 for tomorrow, and it feels like 100. And again, hoping for that morning rain, but watch out for the slick roads out there. 90 for Saturday, 87 for Sunday. Rain and storms likely. I like to say that. Haven't said that in a while. And then next week, upper 70s, which the normal for this time of year is right about there.
And we do need the rain. There's no doubt about that.
Severe drought now in some of the area. Yeah.
Jim, thanks. Corey is in for Frank. He's next with sports.
Well, the Cardinals went for a 4-game sweep at Busch. The Blues went back to school, and the next star in an Edwardsville family of athletic legends is coming into his own. Sports is on deck after the break.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
Well, it's another September and another joyless march to the end of a Cardinals season. With 10 games left and 7 games separating them from a playoff spot, That dream is done, but the team can still attempt to finish on a high note. They went for a sweep of the Pirates tonight. Eric Fetty was on the hill trying to win the Cardinals' 5th in a row at home, and Fetty was good. Just 1 earned run in 6 innings with 3 strikeouts. Cardinals down 1-0 in the 4th. Here comes Brendan Donovan, though. He singles to score Paul Goldschmidt. We're tied at 1. Let's go to the 6th inning now, and here comes Donnie again. This time a double to the gap. That scores Goldie again. Cards go up 2-1. Donovan was 4 for 4 tonight. The lead was short-lived, though. Yasmani Grandal crushes this one off Andrew Kittredge. We got a tie ball game at 2, and then the Pirates took the lead for good in the 8th off JoJo Romero and Ryan Fernandez. Aroldis Chapman finishes it off for the 3-2 Pittsburgh win, and the Cards are back to a game over 500. Here's Ollie on his starter tonight and going forward.
He continues to take the ball. We have to be smart with him, knowing that he's a big piece to what we're going to do next year. But it's really good to hear him talk through the game. The more I get to know him, the more I get to talk to him. And Dusty is just cares, man. It's a nice pickup by us. I think he's going to be extremely helpful moving forward.
Well, nobody makes more sports history in the past few years than Shohei Ohtani, and he made some amazing history today. Ohtani went 6 for 6 with 3 home runs, 2 doubles, 10 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases to clinch the first ever 50 home run, 50 stolen base season in baseball history. That has to be one of the greatest offensive days we've ever seen. Incredible. Well, the kids are back at school and the Blues are back on the ice. Training camp is open out at Centene Community Ice Center, and they don't have some new students to welcome to class. Today, Doug Armstrong got to see his off-season work hit the ice for the first time. Alexei Toropchenko's size and speed was the model as Army brought in guys like Radek Faksa, Dylan Holloway, and Matthew Joseph up front, and defenseman Philip Broberg on defense. Blues hope the saying is true, speed kills.
We definitely have a lot of speed, a lot of skill. Guys are competing too. Speed with compete and the ability to work for each other is key, and I think that's what we saw today.
You know, I think it's going to be a competitive and intense camp, and I didn't expect anything less.
5 on Your Sideline is back tomorrow. One game we'll be at is O'Fallon at Edwardsville. The name Epinesa is legendary in Edwardsville by now. The family has produced a plethora of talent, including AJ in the NFL. Now it's the youngest Epinesa's turn. Yosei is a 5-star defensive end committed to follow the family footsteps at Iowa in college. And in this area of sports specialization, well, he's well-rounded, excelling in basketball, discus, and shot put on top of football. And the senior is a go-to leader for this Tigers team.
I mean, it definitely helps me in everything, in every aspect. I mean, basketball helps with footwork, so does discus and shot put helps with footwork, and just controlling other things, and he controls a lot of factors with all those sports and everything. So I mean, it just helps in general.
And I think I said it with another reporter. They were talking about 5-star this, and he's a 5-star kid. He's got an older brother that plays in the league and is with Von Miller. And so when you get that kind of knowledge and he can pass that down to his younger brother, he's not afraid to share some of those things with guys.
Undefeated number 24, Illinois will get the big spotlight all to themselves tomorrow night. They're on the road against number 22, Nebraska, in one of the biggest games for the Illini in recent years. And Coach Brett Bielema is not taking the national stage for granted.
There's a lot of people excited to watch us on Friday night. Obviously a unique opportunity to play another Big Ten team ranked on a Friday night is an awesome opportunity for our program. Really college football, right? So really excited about that. Our guys put in a good week of work.
So the Epinesa family has one son in the NFL, another son currently playing at Iowa, a daughter who played college volleyball at Purdue, and now their youngest is also going to Iowa.
Those were some busy parents.
Very impressive family.
Thanks, Corey.
Walmart's ringing in the holidays early. The new deals to kickstart your Thanksgiving.
And ahead of the November election, 5 on Your Side will be live streaming 2 debates tomorrow. The Missouri governor's race debate starts at 2 p.m. The Missouri Senate race debate starts at 3:20 p.m., both happening in Springfield and put on by the Missouri Press Association. You can watch them on our 5+ app, on your Amazon Fire, Roku, or Apple TV, and of course on KSDK.com. The Missouri Botanical Garden is showing off the garden's nearly 1,500 desert plants. Their Arid House will showcase the collection that hasn't been seen since 1994. From cacti to succulents to one of the world's rarest trees will be on display for the first time ever. The Coromia gigas can grow up to 80 feet tall. There are less than 50 left in the wild.
Walmart is giving shoppers a head start on holiday shopping. They are launching holiday deals events from October 8th to the 13th. The event runs at the same time as a similar event Amazon has planned, so no surprise. Walmart will also offer a, quote, inflation-free Thanksgiving meal.
And Jim has a final check of the weather impact forecast with a little rain possible.
Yeah, so overnight tonight, some scattered showers and storms should develop, so we'll watch the morning hours and the morning commute. Watch out for the possibility of some wet roads, and 71 for the low in St. Louis, 60s outside of the city. And then tomorrow, an isolated shower or storm in the afternoon, otherwise plenty of dry time. It's hot, it's humid, 93 for the high, and today was 92, by the way, 4 degrees from a record.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.